You having a nice laugh, are you?
Everything is a drum.
Hey! And go.
What's up everyone, Adam from FWCI. Let's have a look at a whimsical Role-Acaster, eh? This is James Acaster on Would I Lie to You? This is the compilation. The full-length version of this is going up onto Patreon, patreon.com/FWCI, $5 dues a month. You get early access to Taskmaster, you get full-length reaction to this, you get full-length reactions to movies, and you get early access to a bunch of other stuff. It's good value, $5 dues. It's barely even like a cup of... You know what, these days with inflation, it's probably like, man... a pack of gum. It's a pack of gum. So far, the only Would I Lie to You I've watched is Mortimer, my old mate, and he's great at this, and I imagine Acaster's going to be pretty good as well. So let's jump into it. This is a whimsical Role-Acaster. James Acaster on Would I Lie to You? Question mark.
You were aware of deer, though, weren't you?
Yes, actually I was.
So you'd
because
seen
of Bambi.
deer?
You've seen a fictional reindeer?
So angry, look at him.
Bambi flew, then I probably wouldn't have believed in deer.
Did you stop believing in carpets when you saw Aladdin?
Acaster. Wow.
Without seeing a real reindeer.
Sorry, are we talking about reindeer?
Yeah, what?
No,
Hello, David.
No, but...
I've never seen a reindeer. I don't think maybe, but it would have been like some like Santa one in captivity or something. So I'm with you, although I know they exist. I didn't need to see Bambi to know that.
Papa, can you hear me?
Oh, a lovely tune,
yeah, you
that
love
one.
it.
That's
I don't know.
lovely.
I don't
But
know,
not
Papa,
on
you know.
Yentl.
It so
It
is.
certainly is.
That was a test.
There's a sledgehammer.
Who was witnessing this?
There were, my parents were there, my brother, his wife, my wife.
Peter Gabriel.
Sledgehammer.
I once spent the night in a bush in Basingstoke.
True. I think that sounds really plausible. Yeah. This guy agrees.
At the time, I had no money in my wallet at all, and my phone was dead. I had no way of contacting anyone.
Were you shit-faced, Acaster?
Well,
It's a bench warmer than a bush.
I would say a bush is
I would
warmer
have
than
thought
a
a
bench.
bench is definitely colder than a bush. It's more exposed.
there's an old saying, you're warmer in a bush than on a bench. It was right in front of the train station, and there was like a little, like, pick-up point for taxis and stuff.
I think I've spent the night in a bush before, for real. Yeah, I definitely have.
Even though the bush, it was a nice roomy bush.
Can you remember the shape of the leaves?
It's fucking nighttime, David. Leave him alone.
Small little Basingstoke leaves.
Individual leaves.
Yeah.
Variegated?
Okay. You have to explain what that word means. I wasn't paying attention to the leaves. I had bigger problems at the time. I wasn't sitting in the bush going, one day, I may have to justify this entire experience. Sitting there, cross-legged and cold. I had a T-shirt on.
How are you going to go to sleep sitting?
I was scared.
What happens, man?
It was Friday night in Basingstoke.
You never slept in a bush before, Peep Show. Jesus Christ, this is the most... Okay, I've only got Bob Mortimer to compare it to, but compared to Mortimer, this is the most straightforward story I've ever heard on the show.
Did anybody hear you in the bush and come and
At
investigate?
one point they did. At one point some hoodlums stopped outside the bush. They said, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't beaten someone up in a while.
Oh my God.
And at the time I was wearing a red dress.
What did you say? What?
I was wearing a dress by now.
What? Wait a minute. I thought you were wearing jeans and a T-shirt. And were you drunk? That's the question I want to know.
Why you said you're in a T-shirt?
Originally I was in a T-shirt and then I had to put a dress on. They're saying they want to beat someone up. If they look down and see me wearing a dress, it'll be like Christmas. And now if they look down, they'll think someone's left a bag and a dismembered body in a bush.
People at home, don't put bags on your heads.
No.
Let's go back to the temperature of this bush now.
Oh my God, really?
Oh, it was doubled.
Yeah, no, but he didn't slip out of the jeans and the t-shirt. Oh, I look wonderful. He wasn't doing that.
May I just say, it's lucky this didn't happen to Melvin, because if so, he'd have been on a bench wearing a dress and nothing else.
Put on a dress with a bag over his jeans and t-shirt, but a man that picks a bush over a bench, I can't trust.
Wow, he really fixated on this bench.
I'm going to go true.
Yeah, I agree. It is very true.
Was it true, or was it a lie?
It's true.
Acaster. This is the most Acaster thing I've ever heard. But all right, this is the next one where there's a person and then they have to make up some story. So I think in these compilations it's kind of a spoiler that it will be that person, but I'm curious to hear what Acaster's got for us.
There's Jerry. He's the fireman who every Boxing Day soaks me with water during a festive game of squirt.
Oh, OK.
A festive game of
What's
squirt.
going on? The first thing you need is 2 teams of 5.
And they go either side of a river.
Right, and why are you there, Acaster?
And then you run it along and you tie it to a tree at the other side of the river.
Yeah.
But before you've tied it to the other side, you thread a barrel across it.
Of course you do.
Just thread a barrel.
Oh, and you have to, like, squirt it?
The volunteer fire brigade, they're not allowed to put out fires.
Oh, that's how a volunteer firefighter works.
Are permitted to pick up litter. It's more like a ice cream van that's painted red. The Kettering Volunteer Fire Brigade have a T-shirt and it has an emblem on it of a fire being put out by a beer.
How do these people keep a straight face, though, while they're standing there listening to this? Especially the true story, you know?
And then both teams aim their hoses at it.
Are the volunteer firemen allowed real water, or do they just mime it?
No, they're allowed water, they just can't aim it at a fire.
OK.
If there was a fire, they would have to turn the hose off.
Right.
I wonder if that's like a real rule that he's just taken the absolute piss out of.
So it gets to the opposition side of the bank. And all the water is hitting this barrel.
It's like 2 Hadoukens.
Oh, I don't. I mean...
I think it's James's.
You think it's James's?
Yeah, because he was laughing during his thing.
I think it's a mate of James's from the pub who was a volunteer fireman.
I'm not happy about this. Go on, Sam, say
Jerry,
it's James.
would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Jerry, and I'm a volunteer fireman who soaks drains.
Hey! I don't know how the people, like the guests, can keep a straight face. I can't keep a straight face. That's not saying much. I'm always having a laugh. Having a laugh. You having a laugh, are you?
One Christmas, on hearing I wasn't going to get the present I wanted, I tried to drown myself. Well, I wasn't going to get the present I wanted.
Which was? What did you want?
The Spice Girls' debut album, Spice.
I'm going to believe this because I'm not entirely sure why, but I remember my brother getting the Spice Girls' debut album, Spice, for Christmas one year, and we played the shit out of that album, man. That was a good album. I'm with you, Acaster. Spice up your life.
That's so weird, because I did get it, and I did try and drown myself.
All right, Lee Mac.
I was like 10 or 11.
Right.
About the same age as me? What year is this prick born? Because I thought he was younger than me. James Acaster. Born 1985. He said that his toddler years ended at the start of the 90s. You were a toddler for 5 years, and in January 85, for 5 whole years, Acaster? You fibber.
Spice Girls album, Spice. And so did my sister. We've both been pestering our parents a lot for the album. My father decided he had to tell us before Christmas who was going to get the album or not.
Yeah, I love how delicate of a situation it is. But so someone in the house still got it, and you could still listen, to all of the hits from Spice. Why did you try and drown yourself?
He waited until we were in a safe space, which was the local swimming pool. We'd all gone for a family swim.
Yeah.
And
It's a lovely Christmassy thing to do. A lot of people do a lot of swimming in the run up to Christmas.
Yeah, man. Summertime here, bro. That's exactly what we do leading up to Christmas.
And then my dad called a family meeting.
Shallow end?
Shallow end, yes. Oh, you're not treading water during a family meeting. It's a week until Christmas, and I'm just going to let you know that Ruth is getting the Spice Girls album.
Ruth, could you?
Exactly. Well, where were you then? At the time, I looked like I overreacted. And then I turned and I walked to the other end of the shallow end. I did a width.
Yeah.
I would have stormed away, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
And I turned round so they could see my face. And I just sat down slowly.
So it was real personal.
I guess I'll either stay here until one of two things happens. Either I get the Spice Girls debut album Spice, or I'm gonna die.
Which happened?
Well, what happened?
Which happened? Wow, lady.
And I saw that not only were they not, they were just carried on swimming.
This is so... I believe every word of this, by the way.
I just don't think his dad would do that. I think he'd buy 2 albums.
Oh, I'm unaware that you knew my father, Noddy.
Who is Noddy, by the way?
I'll say lie.
You think that you both think it's a lie?
No way. That is definitely true.
Were you telling us the truth, or was it a lie?
I was telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. There was way too many very, very, very specific details in that. I don't know. I heard every word of it. Yeah. Easy get. I think I'm like... Because maybe that same age ranges, Acaster, I really, when he was doing the GTA thing on Taskmaster, as soon as he started, I was like, this is definitely GTA San Andreas. And then he's doing the stunt bonuses on the bike. It was just perfect. I'm with it.
This is Mick, and for 6 months, he was my sworn enemy when a practical joke got out of hand.
I believe this as well. How is this poor kid going to keep his face straight?
First of all, I'll say for the record, before we carry on, I hate this boy.
See?
I'm nothing but content for him, and I'm furious he's got on this show.
I'm just believing it more.
Cabbage leaves in my bed.
How did he get in your room?
I was staying at his house.
On a sleepover? How old are you?
James.
A few years ago.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have been born.
I was 9.
And you were what, 31?
Yeah, what the hell's going on here?
I know his dad. He's his son.
I know his dad. He's his son. Quality.
What do you mean? This is a one occasion when you're staying there. Well, I don't know.
This is the first of many, David. I said got out of hand. I do not use those words lightly. No respect for anyone's privacy and will cross any boundaries available to him. I hate him with all my heart.
Yeah. This poor kid. I don't think he's sad. Trying to keep that straight face would be hell.
What then? He sent me a cabbage in the post.
So, it's just cabbage-themed pranks? That's the order of the day?
Half a cabbage, cling filmed, in a box. I was out when they delivered it. I had to go to the post office to pick it up.
Oh, no!
inside that said, "You got cabbaged again."
That is a great prank.
There's the initial cabbage leaves in the bed at his house, and there's the posted half cabbage.
Yeah.
Anything else?
His granddad cabbaged me to my face. He gave me a present. It was all wrapped up nice. I thought it was a nice present. I unwrapped it. It was another half a cabbage wrapped in cling film. And then everyone got the idea that I couldn't turn up to a gig without there being a cabbage hidden somewhere in my dressing room.
Wow, it picked up that much steam.
Thank God you're playing safe and not saying it on telly, eh?
Wow, this kid is living rent-free in Acaster's head so bad.
I removed all of his belongings from his bedroom and replaced them with cabbages.
Oh!
That's, I would say, a disproportionate response.
6 months of my life of not knowing where the next cabbage was coming from. It was horrible. I had to go big. I've been cabbaged so many times. Someone had started a Twitter account, was tweeting pictures of cabbages on me every day. They said stuff like "Oi, oi, Savoy." It was...
Oh my God.
I believe Gabby, but James is just weird, so I believe him even more.
Your paranoid view seems to be the whole country's in on it. Now everyone's sending you cabbages.
Every time people laugh at me, I suspect they're my enemy, which makes my job very difficult.
That's why he's so cranky.
I'm Mick, and I am James's worst enemy.
That is amazing. I am so happy for this kid. Imagine how cool this would be.
James's feuding friend, and here's the proof that that is what James did to Mick's bedroom. Thank you very much, Mick.
Well done, Mick. You know what? That started off beautifully. Oh, what the hell did I just watch there at the end? Jesus. Oh my God, Acaster. I love him even more now. It's crazy going into Taskmaster not knowing who any of these comedians are and then just getting this like plethora of other stuff to watch of theirs. That was so good. I mean, I once spent a night in a bush in Basingstoke. Yes, absolutely, 100%. That is the most believable thing I've ever heard that man say. This is Jerry the fireman who every Boxing Day soaks me with water during the thing. It's pretty out there, but I think Jerry giggling throughout that probably gave it away. But yeah, I believe it. There's nothing that outrageous about that. Knowing how strange of a cat James Acaster is. 11:56, one Christmas, on hearing I was the present I wanted. Yeah, I believed it. Every single word of it, right from the very first thing that he said, I related to. I mean, I didn't relate to it. I didn't want the Spice Girls album, but I'm not going to say I never listened to it after my brother was given it. But it just sounded so real. Like, it's too specific to not be a real memory, for sure. And we got This Is Mick for 6 months. He was my sworn enemy. Starting that off with the cabbage. The one where he posted it to him and then it arrived when he wasn't there and he had to drive to the post office to get it. That's beautiful. That is just a precision prank that just played out perfectly. I don't know why I'm speaking in old peas right now. But there is nothing like a good prank that goes, oh, what's a prank of mine that... I can think of one that went bad, and there's footage of this somewhere. My mate... Okay. Out the back of my mate's house, pitch black, and he had like this whole thing of grass that went down a hill, and there was like bushes down the side, and then the houses were next to the bush, right? My mate was all the way down the bottom, probably taking a piss. He was coming up, I went and hid behind one of the bushes, and I was gonna like jump out and get him, right? No, somebody ran down and shoved me into the bush. It was a rental house. My mate's mum comes out. She starts yelling her head off at me because I'm laying in this bush and like destroying it because I just got shoved into it. Meanwhile, my mate comes walking up the hill and I don't even get the chance to jump out and scare him because I'm too busy getting yelled at by his mum. So that prank didn't go very well unless you're the dude who pushed me into the bush, in which case it went great. But I'll still sleep well at night knowing that I've got 2 testicles and he has 1. But let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, you want a full-length version of this? Patreon.com/FWCI is where you can get it, as well as early access to Taskmaster. Oh, Season 8 is around the corner. Ooh, can't wait. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.